and welcome back to another Minecraft video, and today we are going to be looking at a binary counter. Now this may look a bit more complex than everything else that's on this channel, but it's really quite simple. All you've got is this redstone over here to keep count of whether the bits are on or if they are off, and a line over here to carry the bit over to the next storage area. Other than that, all we've got is this line here to increment the counter by 1, and this line up here and down here to reset it back to 0. Now if we have a look at this working, you can see that every time I press this button it counts up by 1. So here we've got 1, here we've got 2, and here we've got 3. And this carries on all the way up to 255, which is the amount that this binary counter can store, because we've only got 8 bits here. However, this design is infinitely expandable, so if you want to count more than 8 bits, so you want a higher number than 255, then all you've got to do is just copy this and keep going as far as you need. You can also see here, if I press this button here on this brown line, that these values reset back down to 0. Now in this tutorial I'm going to walk you through in stages of how to build this. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make the green circuit over there, which is the one that holds the data about whether it is a 1 or a 0 that is being stored. So to do that, what we need to do is we need to build up 2 blocks like this, but this top block needs to be a target block. Then what we need to do is come out by 1 block each way and place 3 blocks in a row and the 2 blocks in a row here. Then come over here, line up with the target, and then come 2 blocks out and get rid of this block. Now all you need to do is place a redstone torch here and here, 2 pieces of redstone here, a redstone repeater here on 1 tick, a redstone repeater here on 4 ticks, and a redstone repeater here on 4 ticks, and that is the basic circuit complete. Next what we're going to do is we're going to build this circuit that helps reset this back to 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to take another piece of concrete, so I've got blue, and I'm going to place 2 blocks over, then go down a block in place, and then up a block in place. Then what we need to do is place a redstone torch here next to the target block, and 3 pieces of redstone here. Then what we need to do is place a repeater facing into this green concrete here, and go round to this side and dig out 2 blocks. What we then need to do is place in 2 pieces of redstone, a target block next to this redstone, and a torch on top. And that is the basic reset circuit complete. So next what we're going to do is we're going to build the circuit which lets us carry a bit over in case the number that's stored gets too large. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this pink concrete and then build up in a staircase like this and get rid of the 2 blocks underneath. Put some redstone up on these 3 blocks and a torch here, and then get a redstone lamp and build over by 2 and make sure the lamp is underneath the torch. So this lamp is what is going to show us whether the bit stored here is a 1 or a 0. In this case currently it's storing as 0 because the lamp is turned off. So then what we're going to do is we're going to build over by 1 block and place a redstone dust on top, get a sticky piston, place it on top and with another block on top, and then come out by 3 blocks here. We then need to place a redstone repeater with 2 ticks of delay and 2 pieces of redstone dust. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come to this block here and build out by 2, and then come up by 1 block here, build out by 2, and then on this other side here place another 2 blocks so that we get this sort of formation here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to place 2 pieces of redstone dust here and 2 up here with a comparator facing in opposite directions in between. Then all we're going to do is we're going to build this piece of pink concrete down here, so it's like that, some redstone dust on top so that it can be carried over into the next bit. Then all you need to do now is you need to build this as many times as you need bits to store. So if you need 8 bits to be stored, then all you need to do is build this 8 times. You already got one here, so you just need to copy this 7 times and place it this way. As you can see, I have built a 4-bit counter here because I have 4 areas where a bit can either be on or off. And on this last bit you can see that I haven't carried on building this pink line of redstone. That is because on this last bit there's no need to carry over into another area for a bit to be counted or not, so you don't need to build the carryover circuit. Now that you've built as many bits as you need, the next thing we need to do is build the reset circuit. Now that is the brown line that we can see over here that goes across the bottom down here and the top up here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build a bit of a brown circuit that goes along the bottom down here. So the first thing we need to do is from this block here, come over by 2 blocks and place up like this. The next thing you need to do is place a block there and get rid of this block, and then do 4 blocks in the ground like this. The next thing we need to do is get our repeaters and just place 4 repeaters here on the ground with 4 ticks of delay each. Then what we need to do is we need to get our redstone dust here and place up by 2 blocks on here, and a button on the front of this block here. So the next thing we need to do is we need to build a trench where our redstone line is going to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build it down to this blue block on the last bit. Then what we're going to do is just get rid of this block here underneath each of these blue blocks, and then place in a brown concrete. We then need to go down by 1 in this trench, like this, and then once we finish this we need to fill in these blocks that we've just broken with this brown concrete. Then what we need to do is we need to place a redstone dust here and a block on top of it, like that, and we need to place a repeater coming out with a 1 tick delay, and then redstone dust going up to this first bit and across to this bit here. Then what we're going to do is on this last block before the block that goes up, we're going to place another repeater and then carry on doing the same thing all the way until the bit at the end. Now what we need to do is place a glass block here and up here and a redstone dust on each of these. What this is going to do is this is going to allow us to have the redstone line come up without having to do a circle around whilst going up. We're then going to place a block here and then come out by 3 blocks in this direction on both this block here and glass. We're then going to place a redstone dust here and a redstone dust here and here, and in the gaps we've left we need to place a comparator here and here facing in this direction, and here facing in the opposite direction. Then all we need to do is come out by 1 block here and place this line of blocks all the way to the last bit that we have built. Then all we're going to do is we are going to place a redstone dust here and a repeater here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a lever on the side of this block here just for now. I'm going to turn it on so you can see the redstone line up here is now powered. I'm just going to build out this redstone line until it gets to a point where it isn't powered anymore. So you can see here it isn't powered anymore, and that is where I'm going to place in a repeater. Now if you're doing a 4-bit counter like I am, this last bit here isn't actually needed, so you can get rid of it if you want to. But if you're doing an 8-bit counter or higher than that, then you're going to need this last bit and repeater so you can put the reset circuit onto all the other bits you've built. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and get rid of this lever, and then up the top here you can see that we have the pistons. And then going to get our brown concrete, I'm going to build over by 2 blocks and then come out to this line here. I'm then going to place a repeater and then some redstone dust coming from the repeater and facing into the piston. I'm going to do that for each of the bits that has a piston on it, and then I'm going to come back once that's done. So now that's done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this last bit of concrete and redstone here that I don't need. But as I said earlier, if you are counting more than 4 bits, you will need that bit there, and you will need to just carry on these lines and the redstone and the repeater all the way until you get to your last bit. So now all that's left to do is to build the line of redstone, which will allow us to increment the counter by 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to find this first target block on the first bit, and then we're just going to get our concrete line and just build over like this. And what we're going to need is we're going to need to place a repeater into this block here to make sure that our line is strong enough to reach this target block. Then just going to get our redstone dust and build over onto these 2 blocks here, and then just carry on this line of redstone until we get to a place where we can go over like this and up a block so we can place a button. Then all that's left to do is to place the dust on these blocks that doesn't have any on top of it, and that's it. The counter is all finished. Now, one very common problem with this type of counter is that the timing on the repeaters are wrong. So just in case, before you start using this, you should go and check that behind these pistons each repeater has a 2-tick delay. If it is anything below a 2-tick delay, then it will not work. If it's anything above a 2-tick delay, then it will slow down the counter. But once you've done that, you should be able to then press this line here and watch as the counter counts up by 1 in binary each time that you press it. And then, like with the other counter over there, you should be able to press this brown button and watch as the counter resets itself back to 0. Now, I did make a mistake earlier, which was with this blue line here. So what that means is that this counter will not reset itself properly, but it is a very easy fix. All we need to do is get this block here and place it down by a block, and then place this block up by 1 and replace the redstone dust. And now that we've fixed that, you should be able to see that I have incremented the counter here to be showing 5, and then if we press this reset button here, we should see that all the lights turn on and then they turn off, and it has been reset back to 0. And that's it, that is the counter done. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please make sure to like, comment and subscribe, it really helps me out, and I shall see you all in the next video. Goodbye!